Hello, and welcome to Just Shooting the Breeze with Tonya, where we talk about art, politics, empowerment, and love of life. I'm your host, Tonya.edmonds, and I created this show because I love learning, and I love speaking with brilliant people who teach me how to live life a little differently. Today's guest is Annie Levy. Let me tell you about Annie. Annie Levy we went to college together, Sarah Lawrence College, and I didn't know much about her then, but after we graduated, I learned a little bit more about her. She is brilliant. Oh my God. She's working on her second master's. She is a theater director, but she's also a teacher. So she has many things to pull from when she's teaching an actor how to work, and she's incredible. She's really incredible. You'll see that in the interview. I'm not going to tell you too much about her because I want you to see just what I'm talking about. All right, enjoy. First, I want you to tell us the big news for today.
Sure. So I just accepted a faculty position where I'm going to be running the MFA directing program at the University of Alabama. Whew. So at the end of July, I'm going to be moving down to Tuscaloosa, Alabama to start a new phase of my directing and teaching career. So
wow.
Roll Tide.
Wow. And you're from New York, grew up in New York. You don't know nothing about the South.
When I went down to interview, it was my first time in Alabama, but I've seen most of America, and I'm really excited to spend some time somewhere other than New York. Shh, don't tell me New York.
That would be good.
Yeah.
Get out of here. I'm trying to get out of here.
We'll see what happens.
For a little bit.
Yeah.
Do you have a contract where you must stay a certain amount of time, or what do you do?
Well, it's a tenure track position, but each contract is, we make sure it's a good fit. So, I don't see myself not staying on for a couple of years, but seeing what happens, because it takes a little bit of time
to get used to
to get used to a place, to get the place used to you. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Thank you.
I'm so happy for you.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, so we're going to get on to the other questions. First, tell me a little bit about yourself, how you grew up, how you became a director in the first place.
Yeah, so like many directors, I started out as an actor. I was an actor. When I was 8, I was Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz, and that was it. And then when I was in getting my BA, directing one class was required for all theater majors, and I'm really grateful that it was.
Okay.
Because I got an opportunity to start to understand how a director organizes information, organizes people, organizes space. And there was something about that way of looking at the world that just clicked for me in a way that being an actor never did. So it was a real awakening of not only a way of just seeing the world in front of me, but also understanding how I liked to engage and relate with story, with people, with space. Everything sort of came together. And I had this experience, my first time as an actor working on a show with a student director in undergrad. It was interesting. It was the first time I felt really left alone to sort of figure things out for myself, because the director was concentrating on the entire vision of the show.
Right.
And I thought, this is fascinating. I don't have anybody telling me what to do moment to moment, like most of our experience in high school theater was.
Right.
And I said, this is terrific, but I want to do what you're doing. I want to create the world that everybody gets to play in more than play in it. So that started me on my path as a director, and I never stopped.
Wow. So when did you start actually taking classes and directing and just move your focus from acting to directing?
When I was 19, that was a big year for me for changing from being an actor to a director. And I remember the first time somebody asked me, "You're in the theater, what do you do?" And I said, "I'm a director," instead of saying I'm an actor. And I'm like, that feels right.
Feels
so
better.
it felt like a good identity for me. And so then took me many, many years to sort of develop the skills to own that title, but here we are.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so first tell me about your recent projects, because I know you were working on something last time we spoke.
So one of the projects I'm working on right now, I do a lot of work that either has to do with mythology, with scientific breakthroughs, or with historical turning points. There's 3 areas of interest in my work. And right now I'm working on a piece, it's called Tree Army, the CCC Project, and it's about the Civilian Conservation Corps, which was FDR's first program as part of the New Deal. And he sent, over the course of 9 years, I think 3 million men back to work, rebuilding America, because the Great Depression was not a disaster economically, it was also a disaster environmentally. So we had ecological infrastructure that needed to be rebuilt, and Roosevelt was a big environmentalist and conservationist, and he saw this need in the country, and he saw this need for employment, so he put the 2 together, and he sent all of these people out into the world, rebuilding what needed to be rebuilt. He was able to pay them, and I think they were paid $30 a month, 25 of which was sent home to their families. So they were able to support the local businesses, and everybody helps everybody get back on their feet. But what I thought was so fascinating about this story is that it wasn't taught in my history class, and it was something that people don't hear about. And I wanted to explore the history of this project and what it meant to the men and the women who were a part of it then, and how we look at this project now in 2016 with our own economic and environmental disasters, and how the legacy of the CCC carries over to our day-to-day life now, in what ways and maybe in no ways. So I've been working on that for a while. I've been working on it as sort of a devised piece where I get a group of actors together and we have conversations, and I see what clicks with them, and we get up at our feet and we engage with the material either verbally or physically. And then I got a very small grant from a family foundation, and I'm trying to take all of the research and all the experience from those devised periods to try to put the script together. So my hope is that after the project is done, they'll be able to maybe even tour national parks with it, because the CCC boys did a lot of work rebuilding our national park system. So I think it'd be nice to take that story to the national parks.
So you're writing and directing this? Is that what it's a combination of 2?
I call myself more of a script architect. So I anticipate that a lot of my actors are going to provide,
contribute to the
through
script.
improvisation or writing, and then I take everybody's contributions and I shape it into a clear story with a beginning, middle, and end.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Good idea.